I'd like to call to order the City of Belton Planning Commission meeting for Monday, April 18, 2022. Could we have the roll call, please?
Chairman McPherson,
Here.
Mayor Larkey,
Here.
Councilmember Powell,
Here.
Commissioner McDonough, Commissioner Monahan Bass,
Here.
Commissioner Vest, Commissioner Christie,
Here.
Commissioner Anderson, and Commissioner Pryan.
Here.
All right. And Commissioner Pryan is joining us through Zoom. So he is
Here.
Thank goodness for technology so that we could have his voice with us tonight as well. So, would entertain a motion for the approval of the minutes of our March 7th Planning Commission meeting at this time.
I'll make that motion to approve the minutes of the March 7th Planning Commission meeting.
And is there a second?
I'll second.
I second.
Thank you.
Powell was first. Thank you.
So, are there any corrections, additions, questions pertaining to the minutes from the March 7th meeting? Seeing none, I would entertain, we have a motion and second, entertain all those in favor of approval of the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
All right, thank you. You will recall one of the last items of business that we had at the last meeting was the, as a part of the director's report, was the resignation, but notice of retirement, I should say, for our current city planner, Dave Clements, and he announced that his retirement was going to be effective April 1. And since that time, the city has gone through the hiring process. They have hired Matt Wright as the new Director of Community Planning and Building for the City of Belton. And we are fortunate to have Matt here this evening. Just to give a little background about Matt, he previously worked for the City of Blue Springs for the past 7 years, was involved in several planning positions, including most recently the Assistant Director of Community Development. And prior to Blue Springs, Matt worked for the City of Joplin for 2.5 years. So Matt, we welcome you to Belton. We're glad to have you as a part of the team here and look forward to working with you. I don't know if you'd like to share anything in way of words to the commission today or not.
No, I'm just excited to be here and look forward to working with you.
All right, thank you. So, and Dave assured me that we're in good hands. So I am sure between the city planner that we have and the changeover, that everything is going to be going smoothly, and look forward to that process as well. At this time, we do this evening on the agenda have one non-public hearing item for consideration, and it is consideration of a final development plan to permit the construction of retail buildings for Old Navy and Rack Room Shoes as an additional phase of the Belton Gateway Shopping Center located at the northeast corner of 163rd Street and Turner Road. And Director, to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Are we able to get the overhead up? There we go. You scroll down to a site plan here very briefly. Excuse me just a moment. We had to minimize Mr. Pryan.
Sorry.
pull up the site and landscape plan, because it's always a little nicer to talk from the landscape plan. But thank you, Mr. Chairman. As a follow-up to your introduction, this application was filed for a final development plan to permit the construction of a retail building for Old Navy and Rack Room Shoes as an additional phase of Belton Gateway Shopping Center. The plan is to permit the construction of 2 new buildings on Lot 8A at Belton Gateway. Old Navy is proposed to be a 12,500 square foot building, and that is at this location on the site plan. And Rack Room Shoes is proposed to be a 6,000 square foot building abutting Old Navy at this location. The property is zoned a C2 General Commercial District. Now, the original development plan for Belton Gateway provided for one 45,000 square foot building at this location. And that would include the existing Ulta building at 10,000 square feet. So if you take Ulta's 10,000 square feet, Old Navy's 12,500 square feet, and Rack Room's 6,000 square feet, this plan is still underneath the 45,000 square feet that was approved with the preliminary plan, and would result in the ability to construct a future retail building at this location closer to Turner Road. So I mentioned that to let the Planning Commission know that there's a possibility for one remaining building there to build out that phase of Belton Gateway. Now, this Lot 8A is a 3.8 acre parcel, and the shopping center was originally constructed in 2017, 2018, and the proposed Old Navy and Rack Room Shoes are compatible with the existing design of the shopping center. Primary access to the site will be from the existing driveway off of Turner Road at this location, and a service drive for deliveries at the back of the property. The plan does meet all the requirements of the Unified Development Code as to setbacks, there is one requested exception. There is a 10-foot yard requirement for a setback in the C2 district for this wall of Old Navy. There's a 10-foot setback requirement here, and the applicant is requesting that the 10-foot setback requirement be waived to allow the Old Navy building to be constructed at this property line. The purpose of that is there's an existing 10-foot setback to Ulta, so there's some open space existing at this location, but the main reason for the exception is to provide a little more buildable area for that one remaining retail building closer to Turner Road. So the requested setback is just to snug those buildings together to allow a greater development potential to the south. The plan does meet the building height requirement, building coverage, open space, and parking. All those criteria of the Unified Development Code were originally done with earlier phases of Belton Gateway, and this project is in compliance with those designs and those requirements. The Unified Development Code requires all new commercial buildings to be 50% masonry on the front and side elevations with articulation and architectural detail. The proposed buildings, the materials for Old Navy and Rack Room Shoes, there we go, I have an elevations. These proposed buildings are similar in construction materials to other of the retail buildings in Belton Gateway. The primary materials are concrete masonry, brick veneer, and cement board panel siding. There are canopies and offsets and variable roof heights that further comply with the Unified Development Code. The landscaping plan was submitted, and this is consistent with existing landscaping design at Belton Gateway. In conclusion, the staff would recommend approval of this final development plan for Old Navy and Rack Room Shoes, and the applicant project architect is present if there are questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Director. And I'll just give the invitation. Is there anything that you would like to further comment on for the commission as the architect of the project?
I'm actually here.
Come up here.
Sorry.
You're on.
I'm actually here on behalf of the developer. I'm Russing, and while I'm an architect by trade, I'm like Mr. Clements, I'm trying to glide path towards retirement, and I'm managing some projects, so I'm not actually the architect of
Okay.
this. However, I really don't have anything to add. We've worked closely with staff, and it's a pretty straightforward project, and I'm glad to take any questions, but I don't really know that there's anything
Okay.
in particular to share at this point.
Sure. Thank you. So, let me ask the commission, are there any questions that you all have either for the director or for the applicant?
How big of a building, since we're saving space there along Turner Road, how big of a building could go in there? Another 6,000 square foot building?
We did a site plan for a prospective user that was about 15,000.
Oh.
I don't think we'll get quite that big because of the aspect ratio or the front to depth proportions. I think you're gonna end up about in the 8 to 10,000 square foot range for a junior box user.
I'm curious as to the change in the parking.
The overall site had sufficient parking without adding any. We did a small area there to the west, just to get some additional parking closer to the front door of rack room in any future building. So it's excess to zoning requirements.
Any other? So as I understand, it's about 10-foot space between Alta and where the
Correct.
Navy will be.
And those are both solid walls and they're non-combustible components,
Okay.
which makes it code compliant. And it, you can get a small emergency vehicle in there, but I think the likelihood of that's pretty low. Everything else is highly accessible.
Still have a 10-foot space in between. to
Correct.
work with. Great, okay. Any other questions or comments at this point?
Are you okay with that space between the buildings?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. That's plenty of room.
And it is a fully fire sprinkler building as well.
Great. Anything else?
Mr. Chair, if there's no other debate, I would make a motion to consider a final development plan to permit the construction of retail buildings for Old Navy and Rack Room Shoes as the additional phase in the Belton Gateway Shopping Center located at northeast corner of 163rd Street and Turner Road.
Thank you, Mayor. We have our motion. Is there a second?
A second.
Commissioner Bass? Any final discussion? Seeing none, could we have the roll call, please?
Commissioner Vest, Commissioner Pryan,
Aye.
Commissioner McDonough, Commissioner Anderson, Commissioner Monahan Bass,
Aye.
Commissioner Christie,
Aye.
Councilman Powell,
Yes.
Mayor Larkey,
Yes.
and Chairman.
Aye. So the motion passes. I think that's a great and exciting addition for the community to have both of these. Did a little bit of looking into Rack Room Shoes, and I think it looks like a great business, and of course I know about Old Navy, so look forward to seeing those be part of the Belton community. So, Director.
Just one less thing for the citizens to have to leave Belton for, so.
That's true, and others come to visit Belton.
Just thought I would just mention that our development review team has been working with several applicants who have not filed packages to bring to the Planning Commission, but we have been working with some single-family developers, some multifamily developers, and we do anticipate having some applications coming forward, perhaps in June. At this point, I'm not sure there will be a May meeting, right, Madison? I don't think there'll be a May meeting. Nothing has gotten filed yet, but we have been busy behind the scenes with several substantial projects, single family and some multifamily, and So we expect those are coming forward, and Matt will be taking those on. This probably, maybe, hopefully will be my last planning commission meeting, but I volunteered to help Matt as much as he needs. I'll be around as much as he needs me or as little as he needs me, so I just thought I would just maybe say my goodbye now, if not knowing if I'll be back or not, but thank you.
Thank you. And once again, Dave, we appreciate all the leadership you have given, the help, support, your commitment
Yep, thank you.
to us as a commission and to the city. So thank you. So
That will all continue. Thank you very much.
I believe, unless there's any new business, I believe that's the last item that we have on our agenda tonight.
Motion to adjourn.
I hear that.
Seeing as how he's
Yeah,
gone, I'll take
second.
up for him.
I told Commissioner Bass that by habit, I always look to my right, so it's going to be up to her, I was afraid. So, all right, I heard a second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you all.